So you have this guy who worked first in Baltimore, then in St. Louis, then in Oakland, then in Erie, Pennsylvania, all before being hired in Des Moines. And while he was in Erie, Pennsylvania, he racked up 2 gun charges.
Welcome to The Debrief, where we talk with the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the headlines they're covering and where the story's going next. I'm Sarah Bedford, and I'm here with commentary editor Conn Carroll. And Conn, big flashy story this week occurred in Des Moines, Iowa, when the superintendent of the very large public school district was arrested recently by ICE. It turns out he was actually here illegally and had a very well-paid public sector job. How did that happen?
The bottom line is we still don't know. I mean, we don't know how much of his resume he lied about. So what the Des Moines School District claims is that they processed him like any employee, which, I mean, I'm sure when you got this job, you had to present 2 forms of identification to establish you were a citizen. He presented a driver's license and a social security card. He never should have gotten a regular social security card that you and I have. Now, immigrants who are in the country legally and have a valid work permit can apply for and get a social security card. But that card doesn't look like yours and mine. It clearly says on the front of it in like big letters, you know, work still pursuant to a DHS work visa. So it says right to any HR person processing it, like, this isn't valid form of proof of citizenship. You need a separate work permit. And that's just presuming that he actually had a work permit to work, because he most likely did not. He actually first came into the country in 1998 to attend Coppin State University, where he did graduate from. He then got a second visa in 1999 to attend St. John's University, where he got a graduate degree. At that point, we don't really know if he got another visa, because at that point he started working for the Baltimore public school system, and while he was there, he enrolled in Morgan State University in their doctorate program. Now, Morgan State University has since confirmed he went to classes there from 2001 through 2007, but they also say that he did not graduate, which is not what Ian Roberts claims. Ian Roberts claims that
Dr. Roberts, excuse me.
Oh, well, well, not actually.
That's what his bosses are calling him.
Yes, but he very clearly did not get that doctorate, Morgan State has said. But that's not the only thing he lied about. He also said that George Washington University, right here in Washington, D.C., awarded him the Principal of the Year honor when he taught school here in Washington, D.C. Contacted by journalists to find out if this is true, GW said, not only do we never give him that award doesn't exist.
Yikes.
He's also claimed that he attended Harvard, Georgetown, and MIT.
Wow.
All of which is false. So you have this guy who worked first in Baltimore, then in St. Louis, then in Oakland, then in Erie, Pennsylvania, all before being hired in Des Moines. And while he was in Erie, Pennsylvania, he racked up 2 gun charges. Now, keep in mind that illegal immigrants aren't even allowed to possess a firearm in the United States. But he was arrested on a gun charge by the New York Port Authority, and then he was arrested by a game warden in Pennsylvania, both of which should have showed up on any background check that the Des Moines public school system did. But apparently they either didn't do the background check or they didn't care about those 2 gun arrests. And then he also managed to rack up over $400,000 in legal judgments against him. Well, actually, they're settlements from subordinates in the Erie public school system. Another fact which Des Moines apparently did not care about.
So, you know, I was told that illegal immigrants, they can't vote, they can't work, there are no ways for them to access government benefits, and so we don't need to do any laws to sort of prevent that because it doesn't happen. Is this a one-off case of an elaborate, brilliant con man, or are we looking at a sort of common type of immigration fraud that's potentially all around us?
No, it is very common. I mean, when you look at just Social Security fraud, right? So many illegal immigrants in the country here try to get these Social Security cards so that they can work. It's a huge, huge problem. Voting as well. There's so many states that have gone through and purged their voting rolls of illegal immigrants. But what this shows is you have the Democratic Party that really ever since Barack Obama in 2014 wrote this memo. Well, he didn't write it. Jay Johnson, his DHS secretary, wrote this memo saying, look, ICE is no longer going to go after illegal immigrants unless they commit violent crimes, which, you know, Ian Roberts did not. So Ian Roberts is the exact type of illegal immigrant that Barack Obama wanted to benefit, wanted to protect when he told ICE to stop enforcing immigration law inside the United States. And of course, since then, I mean, we would just have to presume the number of Ian Roberts running around the country has gone up.
So one thing we do know is that he had a final order of deportation issued during the Biden administration, right? And we don't know
2024.
Why that was, right?
It's unclear why. I've seen different reporting as to how he got flagged in ICE's system. I've seen reporting that it was the New York Port Authority gun charge that got him on ICE's radar.
I thought you said that was 2020. It takes 4 years.
No, you're right. It's 2020. But yeah, but it does.
No, I mean that's an indictment of the system as well, right?
But I've also seen it said that he filed to have an immigration status changed, and that's what got him on the radar. So I've seen conflicting reporting on how he got onto ICE's radar.
There are illegal immigrants by the millions finding ways to have work authorization during the Biden administration, they were just inventing ways to hand out work authorizations, right? How easy would it have been for this guy to go and have, at some point along the 30 years almost that he's been here, to get a work authorization? And the fact that he didn't feel that he was at any risk of being caught and not done so. I mean, what does that say about the system?
That's why we need internal enforcement. So some Democrats are saying, look, we know we messed up on immigration, so let's really tighten up the southern border, but then we don't need ICE. And what this case shows is that no, you still need ICE even if the southern border is secured, because over half of the illegal immigrants in the country right now are just like Roberts, they're visa overstays, right? They're people who came here on a valid, whether it could be a student visa, could be a temporary work permit, however, and they got here through illegal means, doesn't mean they can stay forever. Right? So if you come in from a student visa and you graduate from St. John's, you are then expected to leave, but many don't. And that's why you need ICE to have internal law enforcement to find these people and deport them.
Politically, why do you think, Democrats have gone nuts about like this person should get to stay, do you think that this is another person like Kilmar Abrego Garcia and some others who's maybe politically a problematic emblem of their policy?
I have not seen Democrats coming up to defend Ian Roberts the way they did Abrego Garcia. But
maybe they learned their lesson then.
Maybe, I doubt it. But it is an example that Republicans should bring up during the next election cycle is look, you guys are against ICE. You want to at least defund ICE, if not abolish it. Why don't you want to deport the Ian Robertses? Force Democrats to explain why the Ian Robertses of the world should be allowed to stay.
Well, Conn, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
You can get more from Conn and the rest of the commentary team at washingtonexaminer.com.